Now, listen, you guys, for the first time on this channel, I might actually be taking my head off towards Safaree. You wore a jean vest, Samuel, because of how he basically was out there defending Nicki Minaj after people tried to spin narratives on her. And we're also going to be talking about Ice Spice and Travis Scott, Lil Kim's birthday, as well as Slim Shady and everything related to that. Doja Cat allegedly is entering a new era. Now, these are some of the things that we are going to be talking about in this video. Hello, tea lovers, and welcome to the tea plug. I trust you guys are doing well, and I trust you are doing great. Personally, I am doing great, you guys. I am doing extremely amazing. And without further ado, let us dive straight into today's team. So first of all, let us talk about Safaree Samuel, okay? Now, you do know that recently Safaree went on a podcast and was out there talking about Nicki Minaj, that entire situation that ended up triggering Erica Mena. Now, the same podcast, you guys, is the one that had sat down with Nicki Minaj's younger sister, Ming Li, and they were out there basically asking her a lot of things about Nicki Minaj. And when Ming was kind of responding, she was like, oh, I've always tried, to impress my sister for the longest of time, this and that and stuff like that. And somehow, the host of that podcast decided to misquote Ming and started saying that, oh, well, it means that, well, Nicki wasn't really there for her sister. Okay. And I was just like, this is exactly what we were talking about when we were warning Ming against going on this podcast. Okay. If they're going to be talking about her sister, because I listened to what she was saying, it sounded to me like a little sister who was looking for, her older sister's approval, which we all do as younger sisters. Okay. A lot of us really do look up to our older sisters. Okay. So when I saw the podcast host intentionally choosing to misinterpret what Ming Li said, I said, okay, we said it. We said this particular thing. At least if you're going to go on this podcast, make sure you tell them not to talk about your relationship with your sister, because at the end of the day, that's what she says she wants as well. But anyway, so that being said, when Safaree came on the podcast, the host was like, oh, well, what do you have to say about what Ming Li had to say about his sister not being there for her? Okay. Basically, the podcast was baiting both Ming Li and Safaree into painting Nicki Minaj as this horrible person who does not care for her family. And I have to tell you guys, when I heard that question, I was like, oh my God, here comes Safaree with the nonsense. But I will tell you guys that what Safaree said, I was like, oh my God, am I looking at growth? Do I sense growth from this man? Okay. He tackled that question with so much, wisdom, that I was like, is this coming from Safaree? If anything, I was like, this guy is grown. Oh my God. I will just insert the snippet of what Safaree had to say, but I loved everything that he had to say. And you can genuinely tell when Safaree talks about Nicki Minaj and things like that, you can tell that, well, I'm sure by now he's regretting moving the way that he did back in the day. But it is what it is. You fumbled, we move, we grow, you've had an entire family after that. So I kind of, in that episode, felt bad for him, like, looking at what could have been. So anyway, let me insert that snippet and then I'll catch you on the other side.
I used to have this urge of just trying to impress my sister. I'm not gonna lie, I always had this urge to impress her.
First of all, I feel old as hell. Like, the last time I saw Ming was, wow. She was small. So to know that that's her now, like, grown and talking, and it's just
crazy.
It's crazy. And what's crazy is she has a star quality to her. Something about her, no matter who she's related to. She just has like a raw, interesting thing about her. Like the way she talks is like she just
I can see that.
It's something there.
But do you feel like what she was saying meant like Nicki Minaj wasn't there for her growing up?
When you're just at that level of life in being successful, you make sacrifices. And one of the sacrifices is being away from family, people you care about. And it just comes with the game. Like, people getting all this money and all this fame, it's gonna come with something. And it's something that you lose, and that's normalcy and just communicating and just being around people, like all of that goes out the window
Right.
when it's at that level. Like that's a different type of level to the point of you in London and we leave in hotels and you got to get a stunt double to pretend to leave because it's just that crazy outside. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're young and you're new and you stepping into this light and you're attached to one of the biggest stars of all time.
Yeah, biggest female rapper of all time.
There's no going around it.
Right.
It's something that you gotta go through until you're not labeled that anymore. You know how long it took before people knew my name?
Right.
People didn't know my name.
Right.
They was like, "Oh yeah, that's just an ex-boyfriend."
Right. She gonna be good. Shout out to Ming.
Well, there you heard what Safaree had to say. What he said is the absolute reality. To expect Nicki Minaj to be physically there for her family when she's such a massive star is asking for the impossible. Okay, and rightfully, as Safaree said, there are a lot of sacrifices that she has had to make. Okay, we all make sacrifices at our points, in our lives for our careers. Okay, you may not even be in showbiz, you may not even be popular, but there are certain sacrifices that you make in order to go forward in your career. And to try and make it seem like just because you made that sacrifice, you're a horrible human being is insane to me. And I hope this, you guys, goes as a learning curve for Ming, because we say this, they will continuously do this, and it's only going to take one interview where they will misquote her in her presence and she won't be able to defend herself, and it will look like really she's coming for her sister. Okay, so yeah, let me know in the comment section, you guys, what you think about what Safaree had to say and what you think about this entire Ming Li situation and stuff like that. Okay, now the next thing that we are going to talk about, we're going to talk about Paprika Spice. It seems like Ice Spice has got a new song, with Travis Scott as well. We do know that, well, she recently dropped a song with Central C, and now it is actually being reported that, well, there's another one on her album with Travis, and it seems like they actually performed a snippet of that song. So yeah, let me know in the comment section, you guys, an Ice Spice and Travis Scott collaboration. Are you guys here for it? And do you think that Travis fans are going to help carry the collaboration, on the charts? Because you do know that lately Ice Spice's numbers have not been doing great. You can only hope that, well, Travis is going to carry the song this time. Now, how that is going to sound like, I'm not sure. I mean, I heard the snippet, but I'm still like, I need to hear the full song to form a proper opinion about it. But yeah, the next thing that we are going to talk about, you guys, Lil Kim. I don't know how I could forget this. Oh my God. I want to say happy birthday to Lil Kim. Being given long life is a blessing, okay? So yeah, happy birthday to her. It was a birthday. I forgot to talk about it yesterday. It seems like, a lot of people also came out there wishing her happy birthday. I love this for her. Like I say, being given a long life is always such a blessing, okay? Regardless of how I may feel when it comes to her and Nicki Minaj, I'm not gonna sit here and say that, oh well, this and that on her birthday. Of course I wouldn't do that, okay? So yeah, just drop a happy birthday message in Lil Kim. Like, what saddens me about Lil Kim is I feel like had she moved differently, her history, her impact, and who she is in female rap, I feel like, a force with her and Nicki Minaj could have been something amazing. It could have been beautiful if, things had not turned out the way they did. I feel like, if anything, that would have been such a, an epic combination, especially now that Nicki Minaj is going on tour. If it were a situation where she would come out on that tour and Nicki would, continuously pay homage to her, because you do know that, well, eventually she had to stop paying homage because, well, people were now laughing at her like, Nicki, you keep showing love to this woman, but, well, she says she doesn't like you. So I do feel like, the two of them, had they not fallen out, it would have been something amazing, okay? And the next thing that we are going to talk about, we're going to talk about Doja Cat. Now, there is word on the street that Doja Cat has got a new era that is actually coming. That she has a new album that she is working on and that she will be releasing very soon. Okay, so yeah, let me know in the comment section, are you ready for another era when it comes to Doja Cat? Do you think that it's going to be more pop, or do you think that it's going to be hip hoppy a lot more than it's going to be pop. Now, personally, I just hope that if she does decide to come this time, she comes being her authentic self without, all these gimmicks, without all these PR stunts and things like that, all the stuff that she did in her last album, because I do feel like deep down, I do feel like Doja Cat is talented, and I feel like all these antics of hers kind of take away from her talent. Okay, now moving on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about, you guys. We're going to talk about Akademiks and Joe Budden, okay? It seems like Akademiks has overtaken Joe Budden in as far as hip-hop media power ranking. Now, according to Complex, Akademiks is sitting at number 1, and, Joe Budden is now sitting at number 2, and last year it was vice versa. And I guess, what made Akademiks sit at number 1 this year is definitely this entire Drake and Kendrick Lamar situation, because, Akademiks was out there getting first-hand information from celebrities themselves and stuff like that, and I guess that kind of took him to number 1, okay? But regardless of that, personally, if I were to be asked who I feel like is more powerful and whose opinion is more relevant, I would say Joe Budden, okay? I would still say Joe, in my own opinion, eh? But let me know in the comment section, you guys, who do you think should be sitting at number 1? Do you agree that Akademiks should be sitting at number 1 and Joe should be having a lower ranking than him? I feel like Joe Budden is more serious and is to be taken more seriously than, Akademiks. I mean, why would I take a guy that is out there having Santana make him cry? Like, you're crying because of Saucy Santana, and somehow I'm supposed to take you seriously. I'm sorry, I just can't. The next thing that we are going to talk about, you guys, we're going to talk about Eminem's album. Yeah, let's talk about Eminem's album. So it seems like, the album has now reached number 1 on iTunes. Took a little while, but I'm not mad at that. At least it has reached, number 1. Okay, so yeah, congratulations to Eminem on that. I also want to talk about this entire situation with Jetavia and Ice Spice. I saw an interesting tweet where somebody was saying that, Jetavia and Ice Spice are fighting to see who can recreate Nicki's Come Up the best. And they were basically also claiming that they don't have any originality of some sort. And I do see where this person, was coming from, because, yeah, you have JT out there, doing the documentary and stuff, the small tours, farming for her fans from scratch. And then you have Ice Spice also out there replicating the Nicki Minaj wigs, replicating Nicki Minaj's flow and things like that. So I kind of see where this person was coming from. But I would say that, Ice Spice is just mimicking the wigs and the flow. Do you get what I'm saying? It's just the wigs and the flow that she's out there mimicking, basically the aesthetic. And meanwhile, JT is mimicking the entire strategy. Do you get what I'm saying? So with JT, I feel like the things that she's actually doing make more sense in the long run. Things like, farming for your own fan base from scratch, and basically also, doing this entire documentary thing, because that will keep your fans engaged, that will make people know you, the real you that is, beyond the music that we see. So I feel like in the long run, what JT is doing is more valuable than what Ice Spice is trying to do, because it's only a matter of time before people get tired of you trying to mimic Nicki Minaj's flow. Like, if we look at the song that she was even mimicking, Nicki Minaj, did it do well? It didn't. After all those gimmicks, after everything that she did, that didn't help her in any way. But when you look at Jetavia, now she doesn't have a huge fan base, but there are actually, fans there. Juvies actually do exist. And I feel like, yeah, in the long run, Jetavia strategy will make more sense than what Paprika Spice is doing. But that is just my opinion. I feel like at the beginning, JT was also trying to bite off the Barbz and take from the Barbz and stuff like that. And I guess somebody advised her that, it's not a wise decision to try and cultivate and farm for fans in another person's fan base. It's never a smart thing to do, okay? Now, the next thing that we are going to talk about we are going to talk about Wireless Fest. So you guys do know that Nicki Minaj is going to be headlining Wireless Fest tonight. And the last time that she was headlining at Wireless Fest, it was insane. Okay, people were literally all over the streets, okay, running after her, running after a car that they assumed was Nicki Minaj. It was chaos, okay? Just the fan love was amazing. So now it is actually being reported that, well, she becomes the first female rapper in history to headline Wireless Festival 3 times. And so that's 2015, 2022, and 2024. And one thing about the British Barbz, they love Nicki Minaj. I will say that. I can't say the same for the other, Kami. I can't say the same for you guys in Ireland, but I get where your sentiments come from. But like, one thing about UK Barbz is they love Nicki Minaj down. I don't know if it's an attachment that they have because of Mata or what, but one thing is they don't play when it comes to Nicki Minaj. So I know already that Gig City Wireless Fest is actually going to be amazing. Okay, so do we have any of us who will be attending Wireless Fest tonight? Let me know in the comment section. Okay. The next thing that we are going to talk about, this is just incoming news. Now, it is actually being reported that while Bongo 2 is out there canceling some of her shows. I was like, oh my God, what is happening, you guys? Now, there's a report that, fans are actually very mad at Megan Thee Stallion because she has cancelled yet another European show with no explanation just 2 days before the show. And the show in particular is the one in Manchester where she was supposed to perform at the Co-op Live. And I'm not excited. I'm not surprised, with this. I think I told you previously that it's not everybody who is an international star. So trying to book arenas for international performances, to me, that's a little bit biting more than you can actually chew, because let us be honest, I'm not saying that Bongo 2 does not have fans, but when it comes to international fans that will actually come out there and fill up a stadium, that is wishful thinking in my own opinion, okay? Because if your fans cannot even fill arenas in the United States of America, what makes you feel like they will fill arenas in a foreign land? Like, make it make sense. Okay, so yeah, let me know in the comment section what you think about that. And in other news, I don't know, there's some form of restructuring of seats and stuff like that. It seems like people are getting notifications that, well, there will be a restructuring thing in a Birmingham show. This entire show honestly is becoming more of a mess. Okay, and I'm not surprised again, because this was a rushed show. Okay, this was a rushed tour to try and compete with Nicki Minaj. So of course, if you do everything, you try to rush everything, these are the results. So let me know in the comment section what you think about that. In other news, I saw some, footage of Barbz at Gig City Wireless, and it seems like, well, they are waiting, they're wearing their pink, they are coming out there. You know what? One thing about the Barbz is, I was just showing my sister, some footage, and she was like, oh my God, they're wearing pink. That's a color. And I'm like, yeah. Got it right. That's definitely her color. So yeah, let me know in the comment section what you think about this entire mess. That being said, thank you very much, you guys, for watching, and thank you very much for making it this far. If you have not already, what are you waiting for? Smash that subscribe button, and do turn on the notification bell so that you will be notified each and every time that I post. I post each and every single day, and I keep you updated on what is happening in the celebrity world on Instagram, on Twitter, and about all things trending. Until my next one, see you.